It's Packers game day. One little old school with the T-shirt today, too, by the way. Packers game day today. Brewers get their 89th win last night. Cubs and Reds battling it out for anonymity. Both lose yesterday with opportunities. And then you've got the blockbuster news that was Damian Lillard coming to Milwaukee. And it was a banner day if you're a Bucks fan. There was a lot of talk about Damian Lillard, where he wanted to play, the possibility of Miami. I know New York wanted him. Boston was looking into it. But instead, the deal gets done, and John Horst and company. Now, here's the funny thing about all of this. You would assume at this point, Giannis would put pen to paper. Yeah, because remember, it wasn't about the money. So now the question becomes, on Monday, when media camps get underway and basketball training camps get underway, what is Giannis's the first question is going to be, Giannis, did you sign your contract? Did you sign the extension? You said it wasn't about the money. It was about remaining competitive and winning championships. You went from being the fourth best team via Vegas in the league to now the favorite to win the championship. They've committed 4 years for Damian Lillard. So what's the holdup? And, oh, by the way, they didn't get rid of your friend, Chris Middleton, who's been unavailable for almost an entire season. So what they got rid of the coach. They changed the coach. They've done everything they can to be competitive and to be a favorite team again. What will be the holdup? Let us know. So it's going to be an interesting Monday. I'm excited to hear from inside the Five-Serve Forum in the practice facility down there. So I'm excited for that. In the meantime, we got a game tonight. And tonight, we are going to be live at Burkle's after the game. Burkle's one block over up by Lambeau Field within the shadows. So come on by and say hi and enjoy, hopefully, a Packers victory. No Bakhtiari, no Elton Jenkins. We're waiting to hear confirmation, and we probably won't get it until we're standing inside the press box with the binoculars firmly planted on the field to see whether or not Aaron Jones and Christian Watson and Jair Alexander and those guys come running out of the tunnel. But we're waiting for that to happen tonight. In the meantime, you got Detroit trying to put their stamp on the NFC North. They come in at 2-1. The Packers come in at 2-1. If Detroit is, going to really say this is our time to shine, they're going to do it. They're going to do it on a national spotlight. If the Packers are going to say, no, we're pesky and we're for real, and we're going to be scrappy and what have you. We haven't put it all together yet, but we've at least got enough horses and enough talent to overcome. Then we'll see the Packers maybe pull one out tonight. We did our picks last night on the huddle, which, by the way, thanks to those of you that, one, watched it, two, listened to it, and I got quite a few emails. Like last night, people appreciated the program. You heard a lot from inside the locker room. Scott Grodzki from CBS 58 was here. Grant and I were going through the entire NFL and making picks and giving you numbers and facts. And so it was a banner. It was a banner night last night. So a lot of people appreciated that. And so we appreciate you. But today, I know people were saying, well, how could you pick the Lions? I'm just giving you the lowdown. I just think they're a talented team. I think that if they're going to make the statement, tonight is it. I think that the Packers not having the left side of their offensive line is a detriment when you got Aiden Hutchinson, salivating on the opposite side. You're trying to get your weapons back. I do like Musgrave. I do like Dobbs and the way they've really started to kind of emerge as pass catching targets and weapons in this offense. But I also can't unsee the numerous amounts of pre-snap penalties and problems this team has had. And they've tripped over themselves. They put themselves in bad positions. So it's one thing when you're battling the opponent and a good opponent. It's another thing when you continually trip on yourself. So they haven't corrected that yet. So until they do, I got to take that into consideration. So anyway, there you have it. That's kind of it. If you want to chime in, you can. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. We would be glad to say hello to you. And you can also get us on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels, at Wisco Grant. Grant Bill's producing the program. So did you get to bed, get some sleep last night?
Not as much as I should have. I'm a terrible decision maker. I was too lazy to go to bed. I was watching baseball, the Cubs losing to the Braves again, kind of had me fired up. Brewers won a fun game. I'm terrible at getting enough sleep.
Acuna is a manimal. 70 plus stolen bases, 40 home runs in the season. And they then just walk off the Cubs. And I agree with you. It was kind of like, I've got one eye open still. I'm still sitting there watching some of that. Brewers get a nice win last night, 3-2. They gutted out over the Cardinals. Their 89th win of the season. 89th win of the season. Never thought I just never saw that coming. Not with a lack of offensive production. So it again, a 3-2 ball game, a nail biter. They come back in the 7th, take the lead. So I was excited about that, watching that game flipping around last night as well. And then ended up like you. I finally just said, God, I'm looking up the stairs off the couch. I'm like, that's 6 stairs, man.
I'm just too lazy to go to bed most nights. It's just like, you're telling me I got to brush my teeth. Yeah. I got to turn all the lights off and put these chips away. And I was entertained last night because the Cubs announcers, I don't know if you saw this, they were getting upset that the game was stopped to celebrate Acuna's accomplishment. I kind of thought that was funny. I don't know if they have a leg to stand on there.
I remember when Ricky Henderson picked up third base after his record-breaking steal, and they took a moment to kind of honor him in that game. It's when big accomplishments happen. They certainly didn't mind it when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were banging home runs and breaking records. They didn't mind it then, right? They didn't mind it at the end of the season when both teams are trying to win games, and the Cardinals are certainly going to the postseason, and Sammy Sosa's running in from the outfield and kissing his fingers twice and pointing to the sky and shooting juice in his arms and his butt, and then taking gummies and everything else that goes along with it, and then sharing it with a big bag out there in first base, hidden behind first base with Mark McGwire as they both pumped up together. Nobody minded it then. Just trying to throw a little history out here. So that being said, it was quite the night last night. And I got up this morning, much to my surprise. It was all Wisconsin all the time. Obviously got the Thursday night game, so everybody's talking Lions and Packers. And then you got the Brewers with their 89th win, and then clinching, and then who they're going to face. And, will Craig Counsell, will he not be here? And what's this mean? And Corbin Burns. And it was all Brewers all the time. And then you flip over to the 4-letter network, and I'm thinking the headline's going to be Zach Wilson, got stuck in the toilet or something. And instead it was actually about Damian Lillard and the Bucks going from the 4th favorite in the NBA to win a title to being the favorite in the NBA to win a title, and the speculation and back and forth. And so I thought that it was just an all Wisconsin day. If you throw the Badgers in there, Badgers are on a bye week. If you threw the Badgers in there, we'd have the quadfecta, I guess would be the best way to put it. But it was good stuff. So excited all the way around for what's going on here. We do have a game tonight. Packers back on it. And with all the speculation about this team, I still think, when we talk about our keys to success tonight, and I thought about this because last night you and I kind of brushed on it a little bit. We didn't really get into it too deep. So I thought this morning I'm going to come out kind of firing. And I thought there's 3 things that I'm going to be looking for tonight. One is obviously stopping the pre-snap penalties. Stop putting yourself in bad down and distances as an offense. And it's stuff that can be corrected. It's stuff that's just because I know it's an offensive line. Zach Tom, you're waiting to hear about. You've got Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins that are down. Your depth on this offensive line, which was an embarrassment of riches, is suddenly down to a couple of guys. So, I get it. They haven't played continuous together. But, damn it, they got to be together. Tonight, no more pre-snap penalties. You just can't have it. Obviously, you want to continue to see the emergence of Musgrave and Romeo Doubs. But if by chance they get Christian Watson back tonight, I am hoping keys to a win. One big inspiring play at some point. Will they? Possibly. Could they connect downfield? Something, a breakaway, something. I mean, I guess you don't want to, overwork. But if Christian Watson's 100%, he's 100%. He's ready to go. You got to play football. Mike McCarthy used to say it all the time. If you're playing football and you're on the field, then you're on the field. I mean, we're not changing the game plan because you suddenly are injured. If you're too injured to play football and play it the way you need to be played, you need to be off the field. Tonight, 1, maybe 2, something downfield has to give. And then if you got Aaron Jones back, you got the check down. You got obviously a run game that maybe become more profitable, although with the offensive line being banged up, chances are you're going to be keeping the tight ends in to chip block Aiden Hutchinson until you understand that Rasheed Walker can handle him by himself. But you're going to have to see some more out of Aaron Jones tonight. And then if you want to go to the defensive side of the football and add 3A and B, obviously pressure on Jared Goff. Amara St. Brown, if you get Jair Alexander back, please God, Joe Barry. I'm dropping to my knees and saying a novena. Please God, Amara St. Brown, just give Jair Alexander to him. Just say, Jair, wherever he goes, you go. If he runs to the bathroom, you hold the door. You know, if he decides to go get a hot dog, you offer the ketchup. Wherever he goes, you go. You go. So that would be my 3 keys to the game tonight. So that's it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, that's the good way to do so. Who we got coming up today? Grant, who we got coming up today? I just haven't even checked my notes yet this morning. It's been that kind of.
I'm glad you asked because we
are loaded.
I don't throw the word loaded. Well, I don't like throwing that word around, but I think we're pretty loaded today, Bill. Dan Miller will preview the Lions.
Our buddy Dan Miller, the voice of the Detroit Lions. Love Dan.
The voice of the pride. Mike Clemens is going to be here a little earlier because he's traveling to Green Bay, got some things going on. So he's going to join us for the 11 o'clock hour, which will be kind of nice because maybe different people listen at different times. It'll be a good opportunity to get Mike in a different window. And then Charch will talk fantasy football at noon. And I'm sure he'll want to preview some Packers Lions too because he's a K-fan, NFC North guy.
Yeah, I am excited about getting into some of the fantasy stuff, especially with as many injuries as there have been. How many people are now traveling to the waiver wires trying to find the sleepers? And that's been one of the questions that now I'm out of the guillotine league. We all know that. But I am in another league with a buddy of mine. He and I get into one every year and he manages it from afar. But we were talking today and now you've got injuries to a guy like T. Higgins, who we had on that team as well. Saquon Barkley was our running back who has been banged up and with the ankle injury. And then it's kind of like, what do you start doing when some of these guys start to show signs of ailing injuries that are going to be nagging on them for a season? So we'll get into that discussion coming up a little bit today. And then you got the last hour of the show because I got a bolt. I got to get to Lambeau Field. We got to get set up for for Burkles, one block over, and the postgame show coming up tonight, and then get over to Lambeau. So a whole bunch of stuff going on today. So one segment down. We got a bunch more to go. Don't forget, coming up at the bottom of the hour, Dan Miller, the voice of the Detroit Lions, is going to be joining us. We'll talk with Dan about his team and about how they have played thus far this season. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. At Pella, you know I've got them in my house, and I love them, absolutely love them. They have all kinds of terrific financing. They have different styles for your lifestyle and your budget's lifestyle, whether it's the Impervia, which is as strong, if not stronger than fiberglass. They have got some vinyl windows. They have also got wood windows. They have all different brands or all different lines of windows as well. So you got a bunch to choose from: hardware, interior, exterior. It adds value to your home. It makes your home more economical. I mean, there's no reason not to at least give them a shout. Give them a call. Get that free, yes, free in-home consultation. That's our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call them 855-PELLA-WI, 855-PELLA, 855-PELLA-WI. That's 855-PELLA-WI. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
What advice would you give somebody that that's window shopping?
I'd have to say Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin plays at an MVP level in the replacement game. They came in ahead of time, measured all the windows, made sure they had all of the measurements. When the Pella people left, you had no idea they had been here. You just had the new window. They're great professionals, Gina, and some of the best in the world at what they do.
Right now, pay as low as $19 a month per window or $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today. Pella's team of expert installers start with an in-home consultation and finish with no hassle or mess, leaving nothing but perfect results that stand the test of time. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, pay as low as $19 per window and $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today.
$6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers end 9/30/2023.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Thanks to our friends at Burn Pit Barbecue. They are veteran-owned. They are based right here, right in the state of Wisconsin, Racine, Wisconsin, and they are listed as one of the best veteran-owned companies in the country. And they started in a garage down in Racine, Wisconsin, and they've grown, and now they got a full-blown operation and warehouse, and they just continue to do it, and they do it because of you. And many of us right here in the state of Wisconsin have listened to the message, and that's burnpitbbq.com. It's mail order. I mean, you can see them out and about at a bunch of different trade shows, but for the most part, it's mail order. And people that love barbecue, people that love to barbecue, use the different rubs and hot sauces and such as well, have supported them. And they just say, thank you. Thank you for supporting them. Thank you for listening to the message. But if you want to continue to support them and a terrific Wisconsin-owned business with two veterans that just said, let's try this because they're both barbecue enthusiasts, burnpitbbq.com. That is burnpitbbq.com. Again, burnpitbbq.com. So we're going to be talking Packers and Lions coming up here at the bottom of the hour. I did want to make a mention of this. And social media went nuts yesterday. We were in the midst of talking with Jeff Levering of the Brewers when the word broke that Damian Lillard was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks after 11 seasons with the Portland Trail Blazers. And the move, as we all know, part of that 3-team deal and yada, yada, yada. So, it was interesting. Milwaukee solely adding Damian Lillard and other teams swapping multiple players, and Portland gets Drew Holiday, and we all know that Drew Holiday is now on the trade block, and they're going to try to get numerous pieces for him in return. But the best part of what the internet had to offer after the news of the deal, first of all, Damian Lillard said the casuals won't be addressed, but the Trailblazers fans in the city of Portland that I truly love will be, and they will be addressed truthfully. Stay tuned. That's what Damian Lillard wrote. Okay. The Miami Heat star, on the other hand, Jimmy Butler, one of the first ones to get on Instagram to react to the news because Damian Lillard had expressed the interest in playing in Miami. And Butler's not happy about it. Yo, NBA man, y'all need to look into the Bucks for tampering. Y'all didn't hear it from me. You go to Instagram, you point the camera at yourself, and then say, yo, NBA man, y'all need to look into the Bucks for tampering. Y'all didn't hear it from me. Then Tyler Hero, a Milwaukeean, by the way, commented after that and basically commented on Jimmy Butler's Instagram page and said what he said. So it's no secret Miami wanted Lillard. We all know that. And the failure to do so upset some people. However, Josh Richardson kept it light, used the opportunity to talk about his jersey number. So he went there. The news injected some energy into what had been a quiet day. You had a lot of people that were excited by this. This was big, unlikely NBA news. It really was. We had talked about Damian Lillard when there was the rumor that they were going to move him. And, a lot of Eastern Conference teams, the Celtics, the Knicks, the Heat, all wanted him. And it seemed like, okay, the natural fit's going to be he's going to end up going to South Beach and they're going to get better and yada, yada, yada. And the one thing Damian Lillard stated was, I want to play with Giannis. So I'm sure when that opportunity came up, his people didn't have a problem. They probably then said, hey, if we can't make Miami work or Miami isn't going to make all of this work, then let's do it with Milwaukee. And then sure enough, it ended up happening. Milwaukee's the 76ers guard. Meanwhile, the 76ers guard Patrick Beverley said that perhaps trading Holiday was a risky move because Drew Holiday is such a good defender, even though he didn't do it down the stretch in the postseason. Because now the Bucks, short of Brook Lopez and Giannis playing defense on the inside, there's nobody playing defense on the outside. None at all. But that was the big news yesterday. And Jimmy Butler wanting the NBA now to look into the transaction because he feels like there's some tampering that's gone on, which is a pretty heavy accusation. But here's the thing when it comes to tampering. Tampering and discussions are difficult to go after. Promising backdoor deals outside of the timeline in which it's allowed, that's one thing. Talking to somebody or somebody calling you, that's not tampering. Conversations between players, that's not tampering anymore. Every player does it. I'm sure Jimmy Butler did it. I'm sure Jimmy Butler was probably trying to bring Damian Lillard there. You can say the same. Tampering is very difficult to prove unless there is an offer, texts, and paper trail. Other than that, never going to happen. But Jimmy Butler making his opinion known that he's just upset that Giannis is going to get a chance to play with Damian Lillard and he's not. So cry me a river. There you go. So that was yesterday. Go ahead, Grant.
Yeah, I don't know if this counts as tampering, but we did get a report from Mark Spears yesterday that said With Miami talks going nowhere, agent Aaron Goodwin, who represents Dame, privately told the Bucks and Nets 10 days ago that Dame would be interested in a deal there. The Raptors were a real contender to land their ex-Blazers star, but the Bucks ultimately got it done. So I think the Miami thing had just stalled out to a degree where Dame's agent reached out real quietly and said, hey, Bucks, Nets, he'd also play here if you guys want to make some calls.
Right. Yep.
Sniff into this, look around.
Which is what happens. I mean, agents are always working, trying to find the best deal to get somebody out of a situation they don't want to be in. That's what agents do. And there's no tampering here. If anything, Jimmy Butler, go be mad at your own front office for not being able to pull the trigger and get the deal done. But if you want and I hate to say it this way, but if you want the consolation prize, when you look at catch and shoot percentages last year, Drew Holiday was top 8. I mean, he was a really good defender as well. I mean, this guy, he's no slouch. It's just you wanted to upgrade. It's not about Drew Holiday being a bad player or a bad teammate. He wanted to remain a Milwaukee Buck for the remainder of his career. He stated it. This is about just simply showing Giannis you're going to get better and making a deal, a blockbuster deal to bring in a generational talent. One of the top 75 guys that are around for decades. I mean, just look at the 11-year career that he's had, and he's still getting it done. It's not like this guy is 40 years old. So all you did was upgrade, but you still, if you're Miami, you got an opportunity to find a shooter and to find a defender. There you go. Drew Holiday's out there. Before it was going to cost you, a player and draft choices and who knows what else. Now they're just looking for a decent deal. So Miami can still find themselves in a better situation. Boston can still find themselves in a better situation if they do it. I don't think the Knicks are going to do it. I think the Knicks are such a craptastically run organization anymore, but they're talking about it. What about the 76ers? If I'm Joel Embiid, I'm sitting there going, what the hell? What do I got to do? We got this beard guy that doesn't play defense, doesn't want to be here, can't stand the GM and the coach, and you brought in nothing but disruptive players around me. What the hell? I want out. Now in the NBA, it's become they are starting to really crack down on guys demanding where they want to go. But, if you can make it work, that's one thing. It's another thing if you can't. Like, guys want to hold out and say, this is the only place I'm going to be and blah, blah, blah. And the NBA is, Adam Silver has basically said enough of that. We're not doing that anymore. But, good for the Bucks. And if I'm the Bucks at this point, I'm saying, investigate your ass off. Let's do this. Get it cleared, get it over with. Come Monday morning when everybody has to report for camp and everybody starts talking. How are we looking? There you go. Coming up next, we're going to start taking a look as the Eye on the Enemy gets underway. Dan Miller, the voice of the Detroit Lions, is going to join us. Love talking to Dan Miller. Always good to get him on the program. Always good to get his thoughts and his opinions as his team comes into this contest coming up tonight at Lambeau Field at 2-1 on the season. So we'll chat with him coming up next. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at Cruise Planners. We know it's been a little dank and rainy, and we're going to get some a burst of summer yet again this weekend, but eventually the cold weather is going to get here. And if you want to ditch the snow shovel, get rid of the boots and all that other stuff, and maybe head to a beach, that might be the way to do it. If you want to go to an all-inclusive, if you're looking for that good, wintertime getaway to make it feel like summer, call our buddy Kirk over there, 262-344-0697, 262-344-0697, anywhere in the country. If you're listening to this, that's just their number, 262-344-0697. That's our friends at Cruise Planners, your land and cruise vacation experts.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
It's Thursday, and normally we're all geeked up for fantasy football, but it all gets underway tonight here in our own backyard. Lambeau Field hosting the Thursday night matchup. Both teams coming in at 2-1. The Lions at 2-1. The Packers at 2-1. Both teams have had a hiccup. Other times they've looked extremely well. They're trying to find themselves, and the Detroit Lions picked by many to win the division at the start of the season, trying to put their thumbprint all over this thing and get a win at Lambeau Field yet again and keep the winning streak alive. And it was extended to 4 if they would do so. Joining us now over on the hotline, our guy Dan Miller, the voice of the Detroit Lions, here with us. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing today?
We're doing great. It's looks like it's going to be good weather tonight, like 68 degrees come kickoff, some sunshine. The clouds have cleared out, so weather's not going to be a factor in this thing. So let's talk about your team and the fact that they come into this contest at 2-1. They get that win in Kansas City, which was so impressive, just to be able to go there in that atmosphere and get a win without Taylor Swift, obviously. But, that's neither here nor there. But the fact that they're sitting there at 2-1, and this is an opportunity tonight that I'm sure is staring. They're staring right down the barrel of saying, "Hey, if we can win this game, we have put our mark on this division." Right?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. And with all due respect to Taylor Swift, I think it was more significant that Travis Kelce didn't play in that game.
Right.
But I think that, look, this is a big game for both these teams. I think the Packers are trying to prove who they are without Rodgers, and the Lions are trying to prove that they're legit. And the 8 out of 10 they won at the end of last year, and all the expectations that people have for them going into this season are justified. And look, they both had, as you mentioned, their ups and downs early in this season, but they found their way to win 2 out of the first 3 games. And if you can get through the first quarter of the season in first place with 2 teams right now kind of floundering around at 0-3. We'll see if they pick up their first win this week. I think it's a nice place to be because it gives you a little separation from those 2 and a win and a game up on, which essentially is 2 on the team right behind you. So, look, it's early, and whoever loses is going to have plenty of time to recover, but whoever wins is going to come out of here with a ton of confidence.
The only loss that they have, obviously, is that Seahawks loss, and that was the Seahawks are not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. But what's impressed me again is the numbers that Jared Goff is putting up: 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, quarterback rating of 101.6, but more so the fact that his completion percentage is damn near 70%. I mean, they don't even run Jahmyr Gibbs. Why don't they run Gibbs more? Why do they use Montgomery more than Gibbs? Let me ask you that first.
Well, Montgomery's more, I think, of their between the tackles guy, and Gibbs is more of their try to get him the ball in space guy. And I think, you may see that evolve over time as Gibbs gets more used to this level of competition. And I think at times Gibbs has looked a little bit like a rookie with his, trying to hit home runs versus just getting what is there. But look, they signed David Montgomery because they like him and they want to run him behind this offensive line and pound people. And Jared Goff is best when he has a running game and he has play action. If you look at his numbers last year, they were terrific off play action. So they both have a role. They'll both play together a lot when they're healthy. And I think, assuming Montgomery's good to go tonight, you will see them in there together a lot and see, Gibbs out in the flat, or in the slot, and using him as a pass catcher. And it's still coming together. It's a work in progress. These are 2 new backs that have just gotten here. They didn't play together last week, obviously, because Montgomery didn't play. So I think Ben Johnson is still getting a handle on this. But when all is said and done, Montgomery, I think, is the bell cow guy, and Gibbs is the guy that you find some way to get 15 to 18 touches a game.
I am so impressed with Amara St. Brown, but also Sam Laporta has started to become a real threat at